Hello, I'm Mike McGee, Content Manager for Course Report. We help people find and choose the best courses for their career goals. Today, I'm talking with Ippolito Ricca, a WBS Coding School graduate who enhanced his already impressive career in music and entertainment by adding AI expertise to his toolkit. Since completing WBS's AI for Business Bootcamp in 2025, Ippolito has leveraged his new skills to consult music tech software companies at the intersection of management, AI, and automations. We'll hear about what inspired him to add AI training to his diverse skill set, his bootcamp experience, and how he's applying AI ethically to drive innovation in the creative industries. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to jump straight in. So, you have a diverse background in music and entertainment management. Can you tell us what you were up to before the boot camp?
I was working in a YouTube partner company, and we were doing YouTube channel management and copyright management for legacy artists. So these legacy artists were around since the 60s up until the 2000s, and we were looking for their performances in databases from the BBC, ZDF, and other TV stations or festivals, and publishing these performances on their YouTube channels to grow them and attaching copyrights to them by using all the backend of YouTube, the content management system.
Great. So, what motivated you to change careers and take the AI for Business bootcamp at WBS Coding School?
We closed the Berlin office because, of course, YouTube went down after the pandemic was over. And so I was looking for ways to actually change industries, even though I was also working as a stage manager, a digital marketer, and other jobs as a freelancer. And then, of course, AI was at its peak of innovation. And then I just wanted to understand how the new thing was working and how I could use it in my own career.
There are a lot of coding boot camps online and also just based in Germany and around Europe. What stood out specifically about WBS Coding School when you were looking?
The fact that it was the first one to propose a course that was about AI, but for business and not for coding or other more technical skills. I liked the structure of the course, so I was sure that all the important topics were covered. And the fact that it was short, that it was a 2-month boot camp, because I was applying with the Bildungsgutschein from the unemployment agency in Germany. And the alternatives were all very long courses, and that sounded like I would have been done with the course and not have had enough time to look for actually a job before my unemployment was over.
So you join this boot camp. Can you walk us through what a typical week looked like during the 8-week program?
Every morning we were focusing on new topics, and it was a lesson given by the teachers. It was still interactive, so once every 15 minutes we had a quiz to prove what we just learned. And then in the afternoon we had our individual projects, and then the team projects in the second half of the afternoon.
How many hours a week were you dedicating to the boot camp?
At full time, it was from 9 a.m., if I'm not mistaken, until 5 p.m. Then maybe I was reading books and not doing other researches afterwards because I was really excited about the topics. So there was a bit of extra work, but I took it as a personal development work. It was not required by the course.
You mentioned doing things outside of the curriculum. What were your instructors like at WBS Coding School?
They were very positive, helpful, understanding. They were listening, open for feedback, and also very well prepared. I was surprised because in the infancy of AI applications, they already did a very thorough research. So even we had some more technical teachers, and of course they knew more technical things and were just diluting the knowledge for non-technical people, non-developers. But even the non-technical people like Julia, they were very knowledgeable. And if something was out of their knowledge, they would just research and come back to it get back to us within hours or days on very specific questions.
How did the practical hands-on approach of this boot camp differ from other educational experiences you've had?
Just the fact that it was hands-on and curated and very well followed. There was care for people to really do a good job in their own projects and go on the right tracks. So they were checking in the afternoon with each one of us individually to see if we're doing the right thing or not. It really felt like they took care of the success of the whole group.
Great. Sounds like a really supportive learning environment. The program covered, everything from AI fundamentals to the legal aspects. Which module or topic surprised you the most or challenged your existing assumptions about AI?
The beginning of the course, we covered the fundamentals, which means understanding how AI works technically from a development point of view. And so we studied all how different algorithms and models work and how they're set up. So it was very helpful for me then to go into an application like an AI tool, read some AI news and understand what mix of technical tools they use and algorithms they use.
Fascinating. Can you tell us about your, final capstone project?
We developed together with the teammates. We developed a custom GPT, which was just a prototype for like what will be the long-term vision, a proper database. What today could be a RAG system, which is a database that has unstructured data, but then AI can pick what it needs and gives an answer. Give an answer. What we did was a database on agricultural policies in the Mediterranean. The point was to have an impact on how politics will actually rely on AI without being biased, but at the same time without using too much rhetoric around data. It's very factual based policy making. So we took all the papers, like academic papers that were talking about the topic, any tables, any sort of data, structured and unstructured. We created a custom GPT and we uploaded all these documents in the knowledge base. And then we were able to prompt and ask a question, for example, about I'm a policymaker in a small town hall in south of Spain. I have X amount of hectares with this microclimate. What policies can I make in order to save water? The focus was on water scarcity. And then looking at all the academic papers that studied all different policies and outcomes and obstacles, then it was able to tell us, to give us an answer, based also on what works and what didn't work in other places around the Mediterranean that have the same microclimates. And then we had to make the video about that. And we used also AI tools to make the videos. Synthesia was it. So it was, all the process was AI driven. We just did the job that before that we thought would have taken a week and 3 people, and we did it in 2 people in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, that's sounds like a really fascinating and useful project, and a really interesting use of AI just in what you and your team built, as well as putting the presentation together and using the tools that you've learned through that program. We're gonna move post boot camp to outcomes, what you're working on. So you mentioned in your introduction, consulting and music tech, the quote is at the intersection of management, AI, and automation. So this very intriguing intersection. So what are you working on today?
During the course, we had one lesson that was about APIs. So I was not really knowledgeable about IT in general and programming. So we got this tool, make.com, that creates automations with API calls. I had an idea since years of connecting different music tech tools for artists to be more efficient. and managers, like managing their career, because a lot of artists don't have a manager, and managers don't have multiple artists because they have too many cumbersome tasks. So I teamed up with a friend who's a developer, and we started this business. And the way I developed the business plan was with a lot of knowledge coming from ChatGPT, all the research I needed. Then I was going to read the articles to support the business plan, and I built it entirely with ChatGPT. And I got the public funding from the state, and I did a whole business plan that got approved in a month. I use custom GPTs for all the projects I have, because then I can create a knowledge base and just prompt and have answers that are based on the business that I'm working on, because this business is ongoing and the developer is doing a lot of vibe coding with GPT, and I'm freelancing on the side on different projects. And one of them is, for example, booking venues for artists. And for each artist, I have a custom GPT, and they gave me guidelines on the type of venues that they're looking for. And with all these guidelines, then, for example, I receive a contract or a quote from a venue, and then I put it on ChatGPT, and it double checks whether it fits or not the artist, and what to change, what to ask. Or as a social media manager for a club here in Berlin, I had to do a market research, and I was looking at competitors and trying to understand, for example, the average view count on the reels of some competitors. And instead of doing it manually, I was screenshotting with with the view counts for each reel, and asking GPT to create weighted averages so that I could then compare based on how many followers the page had and how many views, and then compare on the same benchmark, all the different profiles. So all this has been very useful. Yeah, it's a constant, like, whatever I can optimize, I just look at all the tools. There was this class we did, like, they gave us a diagram during the course at WBS, and this showed for each category of any type of business, from design to hospitality to anything, which AI tools can be used. I still look at this every time I open up a new topic. It could be marketing, and I could find a tool that optimizes for that. So yeah, like, they gave me a Swiss knife of possibilities.
That sounds exciting and really helpful, especially the end of, how the, WBS Coding School provided that diagram to help, see the whole ecosystem and where AI can be helpful. What's your advice for someone considering the AI for Business program at WBS Coding School? How can they get the most out of the bootcamp?
Go online, look for books that talk about the fundamentals of AI, and, for example, all the algorithms and AI models that were taught at the beginning of the course. They are a bit complex, but since it was the second time I was going through them, I just managed to link it with what I read a month before, and during the day of the class, I would suggest do a proper preparation, because it's only 2 months and it's intensive. So if you don't want to spend the evening studying and trying to understand, I would suggest to prepare before. Start using GPT and ask and look at the topics of the course, at the curriculum of the course, and start prompting ChatGPT on those topics so that you already have a base. And during the course, don't be afraid to ask questions, really participate. We had an amazing group. We were all participating. And it really helped, because the questions someone else had actually were giving answers to questions I had, which I thought were different from his or hers. So really participate, because it's 2 months and it can go very fast, and the new knowledge accumulates every day. So I bought another book which was more generically on the whole history of AI and where it will go next. The one I read is The Singularity is Nearer by Ray Kurzweil. I'm probably pronouncing wrong, but you can find it. And he's the godfather of AI, and he's an optimist, so he can also give you different perspective from all the people that raise a lot of alarms over AI. AI is a tool that is here to stay, and is here to change a lot, and it can be used very badly, but very well. And if the people that could do well and have good intentions actually become very, very, very skilled and knowledgeable, then they can counterbalance all the other people that use it to create weapons or anything bad in the world. So it's not something that people should shy away from and criticize, like, oh, AI will destroy the world. No, don't take that stance. You'll become just a dinosaur in history. Just jump on the boat and just know how you can use it for your own goals.
Excellent advice all around for how to get the most out of the boot camp and AI in general. Okay, final question. Was WBS Coding School worth it for you?
Absolutely. I really was skeptical. I have a lot of friends that also had courses, especially with the Business Bootcamp. They spent way more money on longer courses that were more disappointing. And I was at the beginning a bit skeptical on the price of the course for 2 months bootcamp, but then I understood that the teachers were actually there, available, actively hands-on, 8 hours per day. So fair enough. And it was made efficient. There was not one day in which we repeated the topic from the day before and it felt like, oh, we talked about all this, like we're just repeating all over and we get distracted. No, it was really engaging in the sense of like, it was always new information and there was no feeling of redundancy or the school trying to buy time so that the course will last longer in unjustifiable ways. And I think like I didn't take advantage of the post-course support because I just went on my own projects. But I really think they also can help you find jobs or career advice.
Wonderful. So glad to hear that it was worth it for you. Thank you so much, Ippolito, for your time today. To find out more, read WBS Coding School reviews on Course Report.